Hello, YouTubers, and welcome to Level-Headed News. This is your host, Brenda. This is the second issue of the news that I have for you this morning. I have 6 articles in this episode, and all the URLs, of course, are in the description of the video for your convenience. That is off of westernjournalism.com, and it says Federal Court revives Clinton email lawsuit. Court has ruled unanimously that 2 government agencies did not take adequate measures to recover the emails Hillary Clinton illegally deleted from her private server. The Department of National Archives worked to recover from 2009 to 2013 when Clinton was Secretary of State. They refrained from requesting the U.S. Attorney General to take enforcement action. Conservative watchdog groups Judicial Watch and Cause of Action filed lawsuits in 2015 requesting that Secretary of State John Kerry and the head of National Archives David Ferriero help of Attorney General in restoring Clinton's emails. The judge ruled in January that the State Department and the National Archives had put in effort to recover the missing emails and threw out the lawsuits as moot. Reviving one of the numerous legal challenges surrounding Clinton's handling of government emails, a 3-judge panel of Columbia Circuit Court of Appeals ruled Tuesday that the lower court judge had erred, dismissing the suits. The State Department request and the FBI for copies of her emails were not pursued aggressively enough, D.C. Circuit Judge Stephen Williams stated in the court's opinion. Has not explained why shaking the tree harder by following the statutory mandate to seek action by the Attorney General might not bear more still. Ruling absent a showing that the requested enforcement action could not shake loose a few more emails. In violation of the Espionage Act, Clinton used a private email server housed in her New York home to handle the State Department emails. She later instructed her aides to erase about 30,000 emails containing personal contents in December of 2014. She turned over an additional 54,000 emails to the State Department, thumb drives containing copies of her work-related emails to the Justice Department in August of 2014. In 2015, it was revealed that Clinton's email servers were maintained by Platte River Networks, a mom-and-pop outfit run out of a bathroom closet in the company's work with Clinton was many of its employees. Judge Williams noted in the ruling that Clinton used 2 non-governmental email accounts at the State Department using the BlackBerry account she had while a U.S. Senator during the beginning of her tenure as the nation's top diplomat to the email account hosted on her private server in March of 2009. The complaint sought recovery of emails from all of the former secretary's accounts. The FBI recovery of a server that hosted only one account does not moot the suits, Williams wrote. Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton issued a statement following the court's ruling, noting that the appellate court decision gives the Trump administration the opportunity to hold Clinton accountable. The court seemed to be fed up with Obama's administration refusal to enforce the rule of law on Clinton's emails. Today's appeals court ruling rejects the Obama State Department's excuses, justifying its failure to ask the Attorney General, as the law requires, to pursue the recovery of the Clinton emails. This ruling means that the Trump Justice Department will have to decide if it wants to finally enforce the rule of law and try to retrieve all the emails Clinton and her aides unlawfully took with them when they left the State Department. The article is more of the same. It's off of zerohedge.com. For the hamster to get it up here. Okay, it says Federal Appeals Court revives Hillary's email case, leaving key decision to Trump's Attorney General. A federal appeals court for District of Columbia has breathed new life into the Hillary email gate scandal, music to the ears of Trump's lock her up supporters. The case was filed by watchdog groups Judicial Watch and Cause of Action, seeking to force the State Department to instruct the Department of Justice to file a federal record suit to recover Hillary's missing emails. A lower court had previously ruled that the State Department's efforts to recover Hillary's emails were sufficient and threw the case out. But D.C. Circuit Judge Stephen Williams, a Ronald Reagan appointee, had a different view. Per The Hill, it says, U.S. District Court Judge James Bosberg had previously ruled that the state's efforts to recover the documents, tens of thousands of which Clinton turned over voluntarily in 2014, were sufficient and threw out the case. The Judge Appeals Court panel on Tuesday said that the state had not done enough. Those efforts bore some fruit. The department has not explained why shaking the tree harder by following statutory mandate to seek action by the Attorney General might not bear more still. D.C. Circuit Judge Stephen Williams, a Ronald Reagan appointee, wrote in the court's opinion, it is therefore abundantly clear that in terms of assuring government recovery of emails, appellates have not been given everything they asked for. Absent is showing that the requested enforcement action, a few more emails, the case is not moot. While the new opinion acknowledges that the DOJ's involvement would be rendered moot if the defendants could provide definitive proof that the additional efforts wouldn't result in the recovery of additional emails, it also highlights that no such factual support has been presented to date. It does not order the State Department to make the referral to the DOJ, nor does it obligate the DOJ to sue Clinton if presented with a referral. The ruling does appear to suggest that the court considers the possibility that the DOJ's involvement could uncover more emails. While the case might well also be moot if a referral were pointless, enforcement action by the Attorney General could lead to the recovery of the missing emails. The record here provides no factual support for finding mootless on that basis, Williams wrote. President Tom Fitton praised the ruling, saying that it is now up to the Trump administration to determine whether they would like to finally enforce the rule of law and try to retrieve all the emails Clinton and her aides unlawfully took with them when they left the State Department. The court seemed to be fed up with the Obama administration's refusal to enforce the rule of law on the Clinton emails, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton said in a statement. It means that the Trump Justice Department will have to decide if it wants to finally enforce the rule of law and try to retrieve all the emails Clinton and her aides unlawfully took with them when they left the State Department. Of course, Trump has the issue of pursuing Hillary's latest scandal any further, after once telling during a debate that she'd be in jail if he were president. Trump has since said that he has no interest in hurting the Clintons, a stance that we suspect may anger some of his supporters. Here you have the information on that. So it looks like we're not done with the email scandal. One we have is off of conservativetribune.com, and it says Obama's midnight regulations will cost the U.S. economy $6 billion. Last month, an energy policy analyst for the Wall Street Journal reported that President Barack Obama's administration had become readying at least 5 big environmental rules to issue in the 2 months between the election and Inauguration Day. In late December, the American Action Forum provided a frightening breakdown of just how much money these regulations would ultimately cost the American taxpayers. Measures alone could impose $5.1 billion in costs and more than 350,000 paperwork burden hours, AAF wrote. In addition, 3 other rules in proposed form could add $898 million in burden and 146,000 paperwork hours for a cumulative total of nearly $6 billion in potential midnight costs and nearly 500,000 burden hours from cities. According to reports, 4 of the rules were to originate with the environmental protection agencies, while The last was to be implemented via the Department of the Interior. Video in that if you want to pull that up to take a look at it. It says specifically the new rules late. Now it's moving too fast for me. Let's see, get this back where it belongs. Specifically, the new rules would regulate on public lands, renewable fuel standards, stream protection, offshore oil and gas leasing, and renewable developments on federal lands. Writing for the Wall Street Journal, conservative commentator Kimberly A. Strassel noted that Obama was reportedly also planning to implement a flurry of additional regulations on commodity speculation, immigrant workers, and colleges, among others. The goal, according to Strassel, was to overwhelm President-elect Donald Trump's incoming administration with more rules and regulations than it would have either the time to repeal. The best strategy for the incoming president, she continued, was to send a powerful message to future presidents and build public support by highlighting the midnight regulation phenomenon and then making it a priority to axe every final Obama order. It's to do that, but it would send a powerful message to Obama and other similarly minded political leaders that overly burdensome regulations will not be tolerated anymore. The next article that I have for you is off of Liberty Writers News, and it says, Congress is pissed. Look what they just did to the UN after screwing Israel. Over the weekend, the Obama administration proved it literally gives less shits about Israel than it does terrorist countries like Iran and Saudi Arabia. Luckily for us, Obama is not America, and now Congress is striking back with a vengeance. Today, the Republican Congress announced that they will not let Israel get screwed by Obama and the UN by threatening to defund the UN and all the countries who voted Israel. It's a shame that we can't defund Obama too. His cheating ass will make off like a bandit after he leaves office. Oh, and to add insult to injury, senior members of Obama's administration had been working behind the scenes to make sure everyone voted in favor of Palestine. Not only is the UN making houses and in the West Bank illegal, they're also telling Israel they can no longer build in Jerusalem, even though Jerusalem is the true capital of Israel. This is sick. Why is the USA in a love affair with radical Islam? The Bushes, all they have ever done is overthrow secular governments and promote radicalization. Israel is the last stronghold left of Israel by standing together strong, sharing this out, and telling the world we stand by Israel. Tabs off of BizPack Review, and it says Utah says it'll work with Trump to overturn Obama's monument designations. Utah law officials want to work with President-elect Donald Trump to undo the Obama administration's decision to designate another national monument in the state. Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes is vowing to sue President Barack Obama for using executive orders to place large tracts of the state's land under the federal government. My office is working closely with the government office, federal, state legislators, and San Juan County to file a lawsuit challenging this egregious overreach by the Obama administration, Reese said in a press statement on Thursday. Obama created Ears and Gold Butte national monuments using his powers under the Iniquities Act. Portions of Utah and Nevada are included in the designations. The president has used his gavel to place a total of 265 million acres of land underneath federal control during his term in office. The White House etched out the 1.47 million acres of land despite fierce opposition from some local Navajo tribal members who are worried they won't be able to collect firewood or gather plants in the region thanks to the newly formed monuments. Republicans are arguing Obama's move is built on a mountain of lies and claimed the monuments were no different than those passed by House lawmakers earlier this year, which were in fact smaller than the ones designated by the president. Tribes living near Bears Ears want to co-manage the tract, the White House created a Bears Ears Commission to give tribes a voice in managing the monument, yet it cannot authorize such a commission. Only states can create such commissions. The second lie is the creation of a to give management authority to Native Americans. Utah Representative Rob Bishop, who chairs the House committee that oversees public lands issues, said in a statement shortly after the announcement, "This is a diversion." The Utah delegation wants to give management authority to Native Americans. The administration can't, he said. Only Congress can legally do so. Part said that the legal system is not our only option. Our federal delegation is working hard to defund the designation or rescind it altogether. The Republican Attorney General also hinted at recruiting help from the incoming Trump administration. We look forward to working with the new presidential administration on ways to curtail or otherwise address the designation, Ray said. And the next one is off of BizPack Review, and it says 50-year loyal Dem Alan Dershowitz threatens to resign his Democratic Party membership. Professor Alan Dershowitz vowed to renounce his Democratic Party membership if Representative Keith Ellison is named the new DNC chairman. Harvard law professor emeritus argued that the divide within the party will only be widened if Democratic National Committee selects the Minnesota congressman who has been associated with the Nation of Islam's Louis Farrakhan. Now appoint Keith Ellison, who worked with Farrakhan, to be chairman of the DNC. You're going to see a lot of people leave, Dershowitz told host Sandra Smith Friday on Fox Business. I'm going to tell you right here on this show, and this is news, he added, if they appoint Keith Ellison to be chairman of the Democratic Party, I will resign my membership to the Democratic Party after 50 years of being a loyal Democrat. Dershowitz noted that although he could still support some individual Democratic candidates, he is concerned with the state of the Democratic Party as a whole. I will still vote my conscience, and mostly I'll vote Democrats, but I will not be a member of a party that represents itself through a chairman like Keith Ellison and through policies like that espoused by John Kerry and Barack Obama, he said. Ellison is the first Muslim elected to Congress a few weeks ago for racially charged statements that he had made. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a thumbs up, share it around so everybody gets to hear the news. And don't forget to subscribe. Click that little bell beside the subscription button and check the box so you get messages every time I come out with a new episode. Who knows when I'm going to come up with breaking news or a special edition for you besides the daily reports. So have a wonderful day, and again, Happy New Year to all.